Welcome to SATV News. This is Anaf Hossain with our headlines. BNP has no stance past July charter, says Salahuddin Ahmed. Some candidates' provocative statement defy code of conduct, says Mirza Abbas. Appeal hearings on candidacy conclude for fifth day at Election Commission. 74 candidacies reinstated, 18 appeals rejected, 8 applications suspended. Trial of Ziaul Ahsan begins at ICT. 3-member tribunal headed by Justice MD Ghulam Murtaza Majumdar passed the order. Now in details. BNP Standing Committee member Salahuddin Ahmed has said the party has no stance beyond the July National Charter and remains committed to implementing every provision of the signed document. He made the remarks during a student award ceremony at Ashraful Ulum Madrasa at Pekua in Cox's Bazar today. Speaking at the event, Mr. Salahuddin emphasized that the party stands united on matters agreed upon nationally and is bound to uphold all provisions of the July Charter. He added that BNP's political aim is to ensure public welfare, maintain peace and law and order, and protect democratic and constitutional rights. For these goals, unity is essential, and reforms will be implemented based on that unity. The BNP leader further asserted. Provocative statements by certain candidates constitute violations of the Election Code of Conduct, alleged BNP National Standing Committee member Mirza Abbas. He made the allegations while speaking to journalists near Chinatown Market in Neapolitan around today. Some candidates are making provocative statements. Their actions and words are highly inciting. They are violating the Election Commission's rule by speaking out against other candidates, he said. They are deliberately using provocative language to irritate us. I will appeal to the Election Commission for their attention on this, Mr. Abbas added. However, he said he did not wish to react personally to the remarks. Election Commission today held the 5th day of hearings on appeals over the cancellation and reinstatement of candidacies for the 13th National Parliamentary election. The hearings began today at the auditorium of the Election Commission building in Agarga and continued until 5 p.m. Chief Election Commissioner A.M.M. Nasiruddin presided alongside other election commissions. According to the EC, 203 candidates have had their candidacies reinstated over the first 4 days of appeals, while one candidacy has been cancelled. The hearings are scheduled to continue until Saturday. Home Advisor asks new BGB recruits to uphold the force image. Home Affairs Advisor retired Lieutenant General MD Jahangir Alam Chaudhary today called on newly recruited Border Guard Bangladesh members to uphold forces image by embodying discipline, professionalism and the core values of the organization. He made this call while addressing the concluding parade and oath-taking ceremony of 104 batch of the new BGB recruits this morning here. MD Jahangir Alam Chaudhary, also in charge of the advisor to the Ministry of Agriculture, was speaking as the chief guest at the Bir Uttam Mujibur Rahman Parade Ground of the BGB Training Institute, Border Guard Bangladesh Training Center and College at Baitul Ijad of Shatkaniya here. The Home Advisor said this 230-year-old traditional force has become a well-organized, smart, disciplined and professional patriotic force over the course of time. He said the watchful guard of the border of the country, the BGB is playing an effective role in safeguarding the integrity of the motherland by ensuring security within the 4,427-kilometer long frontiers. The International Crimes Tribunal today ordered the commencement of trial proceedings against retired Major General Ziaul Ahsan by framing charges in a crime against humanity case involving allegations of hundreds of disappearances and murders. The tribunal also fixed February 8 for submission of the prosecution's opening statement and the recording of witness testimony. The order was passed by the 3-member International Crimes Tribunal 1 headed by its chairman Justice MD Ghulam Murtaza Majumdar. Chief Prosecutor Muhammad Tajul Islam alongside with prosecutors Ghazi M.H. Tamim and Sheikh Mahdi represented the prosecution during the hearing. While senior lawyers Monsurul Haq Choudhury and Nazneen Nahar appeared for the defense. At the outset, the tribunal rejected the defense plea seeking exemption for Ziaul Ahsan. Tribunal member Justice M.D. Shafiul Alam Mahmood then read out the 3 charges brought against the accused and asked whether he would plead guilty. Standing in the dock, Ziaul Ahsan pleaded not guilty. 5 policemen have been injured after attackers hacked them to snatch away a suspect in Mymensingh. The suspect in handcuffs escaped with the attackers. Members of the Rapid Action Battalion and the army have been deployed to keep the situation under control. Following a night-long operation, police and Rapid Action Battalion personnel succeeded in arresting 7 individuals, including the suspect's father. Mymensingh Kochwali Police Chief MD Nazmus Saqib said the incident occurred at 4 p.m. on Tuesday at Digarkanda in the city. The injured policemen have been admitted to the Mymensingh Medical College Hospital. The fugitive has been identified as Ariful Islam, who hailed from the area where the attack took place. Viewers, we are taking a short break. Stay with us.
সারা দেশে লাখো মানুষের কঠোর কর্মতৎপরতা ও নিষ্ঠায় এসএ পরিবহন পার্সেল অ্যান্ড কুরিয়ার সার্ভিস এখন 16 কোটি মানুষের হাতের নাগালে। দীর্ঘ 30 বছর ধরে বিশ্বস্ততা ও দ্রুততার সাথে সেবা দেওয়ায় গ্রাহক সেবায় এখন শীর্ষে। বাংলাদেশে গ্রাহক সেবার সাফল্যের পর এসএ পরিবহন পার্সেল অ্যান্ড কুরিয়ার সার্ভিস এখন বিশ্ব বাণিজ্য কেন্দ্র সিঙ্গাপুরে। আপনার যে কোনো পণ্য সিঙ্গাপুর থেকে বাংলাদেশে বুকিং এর জন্য যোগাযোগ করুন। এসএ পরিবহন প্রাইভেট লিমিটেড, লজিস্টিক্স পার্সেল অ্যান্ড কুরিয়ার সার্ভিস, 22 Roberts Lane, Singapore 218302. Phone 0065 629 24900.
Welcome back. You're watching SATV News. News from abroad. President Donald Trump said on Tuesday he was seeking accurate numbers on what he called significant killings in Iran and would act accordingly, but declined to say what form any U.S. response could take. Speaking to reporters at Joint Base Andrews in Maryland, Trump said Iran was on my mind and that he expected an update on the situation soon. Earlier, Trump took to social media to urge Iranians to keep protesting and remember the names of those abusing them, saying help is on the way. As Iran's clerical establishment pressed the crackdown against the biggest demonstration in years. An Iranian official said about 2,000 people had been killed in the protest, the first time authorities have given an overall death toll from more than 2 weeks of nationwide unrest.
The killing looks like it's significant, but we don't know yet for certain. I'll know within 20 minutes. So,
on sanctuary cities,
and we'll act accordingly.
On sanctuary cities.
That U.S. airstrikes, if it comes to that, will have the result of protecting the protesters.
Well, you never know, do you? You never know.
Do you think it's
So far, my track record's been excellent, but you never know.
Do you think it's going to be something kinetic like that, or more like cyber? Or
Well, I can't tell you that. I know exactly what it would be. We have to make a decision,
certain
but I can't be. Obviously, I can't be telling you.
timeline?
Meanwhile, Reza Pahlavi, the exiled son of Iran's last Shah, said opposition forces are ready to step in if the clerical regime collapses, urging U.S. lawmakers to back measures that empower Iranians. Do not throw us under the bus by trying to negotiate or appease a regime that for 47 years has brutalized our nation, Pahlavi told Fox News in an interview aired on Tuesday. Pahlavi said to Fox News, Brett Baer, that dialogue with counterparts inside Iran is ongoing to prepare a transfer of power, stressing the need for support from free nations that stand on the right side of history.
Do you get good sense from the There was criticism that we as the U.S. didn't do enough to help on the ground. We have come to the point where people are just fed up with this regime. They are saying death to the dictator. They want to liberate themselves. And
British Foreign Minister Violet Cooper on Tuesday condemned the Iranian leadership for what she described as the horrendous and brutal killing of protesters. The United Kingdom condemns in the strongest of terms the horrendous and brutal killing of Iranian protesters, and we demand that the Iranian authorities respect the fundamental rights and freedom of their citizens. Cooper told Parliament she said her office had called in the Iranian ambassador to Britain to underline the gravity of this moment and to call Iran to answer for the horrific reports that we are hearing. Cooper told lawmakers Britain would bring forward legislation to implement full and further sanctions and sectoral measures against Iran. Meanwhile, China said it opposes any outside interference in Iran's internal affairs after US President Donald Trump warned that Washington would take very strong action against Tehran. China does not condone the use or the threat of force in international relations. Mao Ning, spokesperson at the Chinese Foreign Ministry, said during a regular news conference when he asked about China's position following Trump's comments.
我们支持，也希望伊朗政府和人民能够克服当前的困难，维护国家的稳定。同时，我们反对外部势力干涉一个国家的内政。
Bill and Hillary Clinton on Tuesday refused to testify in a Republican-led congressional investigation of the late financier and convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, saying it was a partisan exercise. Every person has to decide when they have seen or had enough and are ready to fight for this country, its principles and its people, no matter the consequences, the Clinton wrote in a letter to Republican Representatives James Comer, who chairs the House of Representatives Oversight Committee. Comer has threatened to hold Clintons in contempt if they failed to appear before the committee, which could potentially lead the criminal charges. In the letter shared on social media by Hillary Clinton, the Clintons said they had tried to provide what little information they had to help with the investigation and accused Kumar of shifting focus away from the Trump administration wants failures.
Issued as chairman of the committee, this was voted on by the entire committee in a
not appeared. Does the chairman wish to add anything to the record?
Yes. It's a shame President Clinton failed to appear in accordance with our duly authorized congressional.
France will open a consulate in Greenland on February 6, a move that had been planned since last year, French Foreign Minister Jean-Noël Barrot said on Wednesday, amid US President Donald Trump's push to take control of the Arctic territory. The United States must stop blackmailing Greenland and expressing that it wishes to take control over the autonomous Danish territory, he added. Attacking another NATO member would make no sense. It would even run counter to US interests. Therefore, these blackmail must obviously stop, Barrett told RTL Radio. The Danish and Greenlandic foreign ministers will meet US Vice President J.D. Vance and Secretary of State Marco Rubio late on Wednesday. Earlier, Donald Trump dismissed remarks from Greenland's Prime Minister Jens Frederik Nielsen after he retired Greenland's commitment to Denmark.
Oui, c'est une décision qui a été prise l'été dernier, lorsque le président de la République s'est rendu sur place. Je m'y suis rendu pour ma...
Meanwhile, Polish President Karol Nawrocki said the issue of Greenland requires extensive discussion on Tuesday, after US President Donald Trump repeated his desire to take control of the autonomous territory. Speaking to Polish press during a visit to London, Nawrocki said Greenland was an important strategic location in the midst of what he described as a great threat from Russia and economic rivalry from China. Earlier in the day, Nawrocki met with British PM Keir Starmer for talks which included security issues. Nawrocki also addressed demonstrative issues and said he was leaving all options open regarding his decision on this year's budget.
I wymaga poszerzonej dyskusji oczywiście w rygorach partnerstwa.
Federal agents clashed with protesters in St. Paul and Minneapolis on Tuesday, nearly a week after the fatal shooting of Rennie Good. by federal officers as demonstrations continued outside the federal building and within the communities. At the Whipple Federal Building in St. Paul, federal agents deployed flashbangs and protesters shouted and confronted officers. Authorities arrested at least one woman during the confrontation. Clashes also took place in Minneapolis, where federal agents deployed tear gas and pepper balls towards protesters.
Get back! Get back! Get back! Get back! Get back!
বাংলাদেশ থেকে সিঙ্গাপুরে পণ্য বুকিং এর জন্য যোগাযোগ করুন ঢাকা সহ দেশের যে কোনো ৮০টি শাখা কেন্দ্রে। এসএ পরিবহন পার্সেল এন্ড কুরিয়ার সার্ভিস, আপনার সেবা সব সময়।
Derailed in northeastern Thailand on Wednesday after a construction crane fell on 3 of its carriages, killing at least 29 people and injuring about 80, said police. The accident took place on Wednesday morning in the Sikiho district of Nakhon Ratchasima province, 230 kilometers northeast of Bangkok. On a train from the capital bound for Yuban, Ratchathani province, the crane was working on a high-speed rail project when it collapsed and hit the passing train, causing it to derail and briefly catch fire. The high-speed rail project will connect to China through Laos. The government said last year that more than a third of construction had been completed in the segment connecting Bangkok to Nakhon Ratchasima, and the whole line to Nong Khai at the border with Laos would be ready by 2030. Thousands of motorcyclists and transport workers staged a caravan in Caracas on Tuesday, demanding the release of Nicolas Maduro and Celia Flores, who were captured by the United States on January 3. Nicolas Maduro, Guerra, son of the detained leader and a deputy, told supporters Maduro and Flores sent a message saying they remain firm and trust in the government team led by acting President Delcy Rodriguez. Transport Union representative Rizal Hernandez stated the multi-modal transport sector stands united in demanding the return of Maduro and his wife to Venezuela. The caravan featured motorcyclists honking and waving while carrying signs through the capital's highway. Two Chilean police officers were wounded during a second day of violent eviction operations at irregular settlement on Serra Sanitilla Hill in San Antonio, Valparaiso region on Tuesday. Hospital Director Ximena Parade confirmed that one officer suffered a gunshot wound to his left.
Welcome, Grand Palace Hotel, Dhaka. A majestic lobby blending timeless elegance with modern design.
During the operation, the eviction, which began on Monday, was met with fierce resistance from residents who erected barricades and engaged in confrontation with police using tear gas and water cannons.
Experience 5-star comfort in suites and
Basmati rice exports to Iran have slowed to a near standstill following protests gripping the Gulf country, with suppliers wary of new deals due to the risk of non-payment and potential additional U.S. tariffs, trade officials said. U.S. President Donald Trump said on Monday that any country trading with Iran would face a 25% tariff on its commerce with the U.S., a move exporters say has made Indian suppliers even more reluctant to sign new contracts with Iranian buyers. India is Iran's largest supplier, with the staple accounting for nearly 2/3 of all Iranian imports from the country. Before ending, we go through the headlines again. BNP has no stance past July charter, says Salahuddin Ahmed. Some candidates' provocative statements defy code of conduct, says Mirza Abbas. Appeal hearings on candidacy conclude for 5th day at Election Commission. 74 candidacies reinstated, 18 appeals rejected, 8 applications suspended. Trials of Ziaul Ahsan begin at ICT. 3-member tribunal headed by Justice M.D. Ghulam Murtuza Majumdar passed the order. You're up to date with our top stories so far here on SATV. And to know the latest news, visit www.satv.tv. Stay with us.